It's so funny how little things like the shape of an archway or just the turn of angles can make something look spooky. It's Gothic. It evokes a certain image. And somehow stone represents heavy metal more perfectly than metal itself. I feel like the old devil himself sent the crows to attend to us.
Next location is London, where not for the first time, I have two men waiting for me in Soho, if you know what I mean.
I gotta do some shopping.
Specifically in the esteemed rock and roll drinking den of iniquity, the Crowbar. Barry Evans is a martial arts expert who, as I'm led to believe, was on security detail for Ozzy in the 80s. So he must have seen a thing or two. And by God, we want to get it out of him.
When you worked with Ozzy, were you a road crew member? Were you a bodyguard? What were you?
Guitar technician. But you do on-stage security. For us guys, we knew where the guys would be, and we could dart in and out and do stuff,
Right.
you know, and if we needed to take somebody off the stage, then we could actually...
That's a nice way to put it. Take someone out from the stage.
Well, yeah. There's a technique called the carotid shutdown. The police used to use it, but it's a very dangerous technique.
So-called?
Yeah, it's basically a shut down the carotid arteries. So you take them backwards, you do, and you know when it's happening because the legs go limp. Then you put them down, recovery position, and they come around within less than a minute.
Yeah.
On the Aussie gigs, people would be searched when they came in. One guy had a cat around his waist. He'd actually killed it on the way to the gig and was going to throw it on stage. This guy got past two security guys, had climbed up the side of the set, was running down towards Ozzy as I came up from the side. The guy spotted me and went round the back of Ozzy and threw himself off the front of the stage as I dived. And I hit Ozzy in the back, moved him forward a few foot, and rolled and got up. And he went, "Good evening, Mr. Bond."
Is that typical of Ozzy? Like the sort of quick wit?
Great. Yeah, very, very quick.
I want to ask you a question about the drugs. Was it really as copious and as insane as the time seems to suggest it was?
Yes. There'd be a bunk set aside with a mirror and the 8-ball all lined up. It was a very crazy period.
Right.
Because there were no barriers as far as the life that we lived. Some of it I don't remember, and I have to be perfectly honest with you. I say the fact I'm still alive today is an absolute minor miracle. But I mean, that's what that time was all about. It was a completely out of control period, really.
Oh my God. Woo-wee. Malcolm Dome is an esteemed rock journalist who has probably passed out drooling on himself over 4,000 times on 4,000 tour buses. I'm hoping to get some real insight from this man as to why metal came from the Midlands and to how the name came about in the first place.
Why Birmingham? Why the Black Country? Why the Midlands? And why England in general?
People sort of always wonder, why Birmingham? It was a depressed area. It was very much an industrial area. Rob Halford's famous phrase is, if you're in metal, you don't write about roses and love. You write about drive, power, darkness, because that's what the music lends itself to. And that came pretty much from the Sabbath birth. And Tony Iommi, because he had problems with his hand, actually detuned and played down and became a lot heavier with the way he played guitar. And once Sabbath started to make a name for themselves, I think a lot of people in that area thought, yeah, we can relate to that. But I think England just had that mentality for wanting that sort of driving power rock and roll, which didn't belong on the highways and freeways in America, but belonged really in the pubs and the clubs, in the dark, depressing. We're English. We like being dark and depressing sometimes.
It was heavy rock before. And then right as the new wave of British metal was about to break, it became heavy metal.
Yes, it did. Judas Priest, the first band to really embrace the term heavy metal, and say, yeah, we're heavy metal.
You think you realize, think nothing of the kind. There is no true escape, I'm watching all the time.
The leather image that now is associated with metal really was born with Priest on Unleashed in the East. Once Priest had that image, it became part of everything that's to do with metal.
Absolutely. Heavy metal has with it all these images, darkness and death, but it seems like it's a lot of fun, hijinks.
Well, one of the funniest things, Van Halen was supporting Sabbath on the 10th anniversary Sabbath tour. Right. And when they got to Birmingham, Ozzy invited the whole of Van Halen back to his house. Ozzy ended up passed out on the floor. And Thelma brought his two kids in, said, kiss Daddy goodnight before you go to bed. And you have this strange scene of this passed out rock star with two kids going, good night, Daddy, and going to bed.
Wait a minute. This Malcolm dude seems to know more about music than me and speaks faster than I can. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this boy. I got my suspicions on him now. Anywho, the time has come for me to delve a little deeper into an area of metal that has always fascinated me since I was a little hillbilly boy in South Carolina. And the very first time I started to hear words like pagan, occult, Satan, the devil, Marie Osmond, chili-flavored dick holes. Now, a man named Terry Jones came along and formed the band Pagan Altar in 1976. They were one of the key early metal bands to really truly embrace the occult and make it a central part of their music and their live show. I've not met this man before, but I'm picturing a mysterious druid wizard of few words with long dark hair who lives in a teepee cave forest. Let's just see what we got here.
Yes, can I help you, sir?
Oh, okay, well, different, but totally cool. Excellent. So, Pagan Altar, I mean, that's a strong, like, tough metal name to have.
It gives you scope to write. The subject of a pagan altar is Stonehenge,
Yeah.
satanic, black magic, whatever you wish.
You're a cult band in a lot of ways, and I've read that you guys are considered to be the fathers of doom metal. How do you react to that?
We didn't realise at the time, we were just doing what we liked doing. I mean,
Right.
some of the other bands was, the faster bands, it just wasn't us. As I said, we were born on the cusp that took in the original Sabbath type,
Right.
and then the new wave, and so there's different influences that come
Right.
in.
The pagan element, the pagan imagery involved in heavy rock, was it pointed out to you by bands like Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath?
Within a stone's throw was Nunhead Cemetery, which is a gothic dream, really.
Right.
In the other direction was a bookshop called the Church of Occult Science.
Oh, wow.
Anything to do with the occult you could find there, from candle power right the way through.
How seriously did you get into the occult?
I got quite interested. There are some elements that you think, hang on, you've been around too long. There must be
Right.
something sort of behind it, you know. The other thing was, from a live perspective, we did the whole of the stage up as a satanic temple with big altar, upside down cross. One of the roadies used to dress up with a top hat and undertaker's clothes, and he would come on and light the candles, and then the guys would come in from the side with hoods, cloaks, with their guitars. And the thing is, if you can't see a face or feet,
It's spooky.
that's spooky.
Do you still have to?
Yep, still have the coffin, yeah.
Maybe can we go check it out?
Of course you can.
Oh, wow. Did you build the hydraulic to open it
Yeah.
up? Oh, that's killer, man.
Yeah, it used to ooze smoke out.
So there's a good cemetery to go to around here, right?
Nunhead.
Nunhead?
Nunhead Cemetery. Wander through. You get lost in it.
So everyone was totally knackered, but I begged Badger the driver to swing by the graveyard on the way back to London and try to picture the scene of Terry and the band hanging out there at night back in the day.
When you go, all your senses become...
A sense of foreboding has fallen over me. Boom, 7.5 demons are currently possessing my body. I am going to put Tuesday to death and bring her back to life with a magic flute. Oh shit! No fucking way. Do you see this? What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that right there? Here, you take this. You tell me that's not a fucking ghost. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. All right, I may have overreacted a little bit, but we were all a bit shaken up, so we decided to grab a few cheeky beverages at a bar where a bunch of metal kids were doing their version of karaoke. Step aside, children. The master is here.
Where you dwell incarcerate under the moon.
Sadly, the end is nigh, my friends. Tomorrow is the last jam-packed day of my British heavy metal pilgrimage, so I need to do everything I can to make sure the devil himself possesses me entirely for these last 24 hours. Tomorrow I have a vision, and it will involve the next generation of real metal fans, a pit bull and a big bag of dicks. Amen. Let's do this.